Welcome to the ruins of Concrete City. Concrete City is a ghost town that was created in 1911 to house coal workers, which consists of 20 duplex houses. This abandoned town is an example of international-style architecture, which focuses on functionality and utilitarian designs. The style typically appears minimalistic, with modular rectilinear shapes and flat surfaces. They are made of metal and concrete, and are devoid of decorative details. The building techniques they used allowed them to create an entire duplex in a single day. It was abandoned in 1924, only 13 years after it was created, due to the houses being unlivable. The coal company who owned the town didn't want to pay for improvements to make the town livable. They tried to demolish one of the homes with 100 sticks of dynamite, but it wasn't strong enough due to the robust construction. Since demolishing the homes was too difficult, they left it as we see it today. Nearby there is also an orange-colored lake. This was the result of the pollution caused by mining. The drainage from mines caused heavy metals like iron and aluminum to seep into the water, causing the water to become acidic. Animals are unable to survive in the lake due to how acidic and toxic it is. Only certain types of microbes and algae are able to survive. You definitely wouldn't want to go in the water or drink from it. But let's head back to the abandoned town. Let's follow Ben inside Concrete City and see what he finds. Each of the 20 homes has a first floor, a second floor, and a basement. Each home is also a duplex, with 2 dwellings per structure. Every surface is completely covered with graffiti. Vandals often come here at night, so it is much safer to explore during the day. Outside there are a web of dirt roads that go around the buildings. The roads are really muddy from four-wheelers and off-roaders, so it is best to move around them when going from building to building. Here we are, on the first floor of one of the buildings. There is a giant hole in the wall, connecting the separate duplexes. Someone must have knocked it down with a sledgehammer for some reason. You can really tell that graffiti artists love this place. Let's head upstairs and check out the second floor of some of the houses. A lot of the houses had a hole leading up to the roof. We're not sure if they are part of the original structure or the result of the vandals. Each second floor had a number of rooms upstairs. These would have been the bedrooms. Here is the second floor of a different structure. The rooms of each structure are empty, but each contain unique graffiti. This room is themed around creepy clowns, for example. Here is a clown with fangs for teeth. And on the opposite wall, we have what seems to be a depiction of the Joker. There is a hole in the wall in the shape of his menacing smile, where we can spy into the adjacent duplex. Here we can see 3 holes and a window in alignment from the second story of one of the buildings, like looking through some sort of portal. It looks like a vandal did this intentionally, for some reason only known to them. This second-story home is way more ruined than the others. There is supposed to be a wall in the middle dividing the duplex, but it is completely gone. There is a giant gaping hole in the middle. It is important to watch your step in here. Let's go around to the other side. Here are the two sets of stairs leading to the second floor. Each one was supposed to be for its own home, separate from each other. It looks like someone dragged a tree up here, so they can shimmy across the hole. Seems like a bad idea. It also looks like they brought up a tree and placed it in the corner to decorate. Very surreal looking. Let's check this floor out next. On this building's second floor, the dividing wall was also damaged, but to a lesser degree. Here we can see into the two bedrooms, along with a view straight down the stairs, and an opening in the ceiling letting in sunlight. While exploring on the second floor levels, you have to be really careful where you step, as there are holes in the floor you could fall through if you are not paying attention. Ben found something really cool when he looked out the window while he was exploring this building. He found a thrashed and abandoned car. The engine block was still there, and the frame was covered in many layers of graffiti. Here we can see what is left of the passenger seat and body panels. Either the vandals or time must have really taken its toll on this old car. It is destined to rot away, along with the buildings beside it. Let's move along from the car and check out the next building. This one has a giant hole too, but there is a lot of black scoring along the edges. I wonder if this is the result of fire damage? Maybe the vandals tried to start a fire in here, like a giant concrete oven. Let's see what some of the basements of the buildings are like next. Not all the basements are accessible. This one, for example, is collapsed and flooded. There are a few smaller holes where you can look down. Along with a large rectangular opening showing how high the water level is down there. Definitely would not want to fall in. Here is a building where the basement is not blocked off. Let's head down the stairs and see what is down there. This one is flooded too, and it has trash floating in it. Ben is going to try one of the other buildings to see if he can find one without standing water. This building is a little higher in elevation than the others, so hopefully this one won't be flooded. Ben doesn't want to get any of that nasty trash water on him. There could be something sharp beneath the water's surface. There is another hole in the floor, showing that this one doesn't have any water. You can see the mesh of rebar that once held the floor with the rubble beneath. Time to flip on the light and head down. The rebar is hanging down like tendrils. The wall that should separate the duplexes is missing here too, allowing us to move through to the other side. Here we can see the stairwell that leads up to the neighbor's first floor. It seems a lot more spacious down here without the water. Even though the buildings didn't have any furnishings, Ben still found some strange discoveries. There were hundreds of these little pamphlets in all the buildings. It seems like a fanatic is trying to leave messages in order to save the vandals from the rapture. This place attracts a lot of strange people. Outside of this building with extreme damage, Ben found something else that was weird. It was laying on the ground near the building. It looks like someone was setting fire to a book. I don't know why someone would set fire to a book about the needs of children. Ben also discovered some evidence of a camp. We don't know who would want to spend the night back here. It could be someone homeless, or perhaps it was the vandals partying all night. Either way, it doesn't seem safe. There was more stuff inside. Here we can see all the equipment that they left. It is better not to mess with it. The graffiti Ben found really gives insight to the mindset of the vandals, as we can see here. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Lastly, let's take a look at the inside of the most damaged buildings, like we saw earlier. These may be the ones they tried and failed to blow up with dynamite. Once we head up the stairs, we can see that the second floor has collapsed and is slanted down. The giant slab is cracked and angled like a slide. After being confined inside the other buildings, it is quite the contrast seeing all this empty space that should be filled. Here is the other building that is half destroyed like the other. As we head up the stairs, we can see a small slab of concrete suspended in the air by rebar, like a spider's web. Both side walls are missing, and just the corner is holding up the roof on this one. Around the corner in this other room, the ceiling has collapsed, forming a slanted wall. You really have to be careful when exploring the damaged buildings. And that brings us to the end of this exploration. Thanks for watching.